Stop watching, start creating. Your imagination deserves more than an audience. Welcome to Soft Girl Era, the sacred space where strong Black women unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom they deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolice, like sweet softness whispered in French. I'm your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every second of it. Recently, I had the privilege of sitting down with Yalonda Smith, a visionary who understands that the world doesn't just need more spectators, it needs more creators, more dreamers who dare to act, more women who refuse to sit on the sidelines of their own stories. Yolanda's work is a testament to the power of bringing your imagination to life, and she spent years helping women step into their fullest potential, reminding them that their voices matter, their visions are valid, and their dreams deserve more than a seat in the audience. Today, I want to share the insights from our conversation with you because what she said, it hit different. Here's the thing. We live in a world that's really good at making us feel like we're part of something just because we're watching it. We scroll through Instagram, double tap on someone's dream, retweet someone's vision, binge watch someone's success story on Netflix, and somehow we convince ourselves that we're participating. But let's be honest, we're not. We're spectators. And there's a massive difference between being inspired by someone else's imagination and actually daring to realize your own. Yolanda reminded me of something I think we all need to hear, especially those of us who've spent years holding everyone else up, making sure everyone else's dreams come true, while our own ideas sit quietly in the back of our minds, waiting for permission that never comes. She said, "You have the power to bring your own vision to life. Don't sit on the sidelines of your own story." And I felt that because how many of us are guilty of cheering for everyone else while our own dreams collect dust? Let me tell you about Issa Rae. You know her now, right? Insecure, HBO, Emmy nominations, the whole thing. But before all that, she was a Black woman with a YouTube channel, a laptop, and a vision that the industry told her wasn't marketable. They said her stories didn't have an audience. They said her perspective was too niche. They said no a lot. But Issa didn't sit around waiting for someone to give her a seat to get at the table. She built her own table. She created Awkward Black Girl, a web series that reflected her authentic voice, her perspective, her truth. And she did it herself. No big studio, no fancy budget, just her imagination and the audacity to act on it. And here's what happened: people showed up, not because she had the backing of a major network, but because she told a story that needed to be told. She filled a void. She created complex, relatable Black women characters that the industry said didn't exist. And eventually, HBO came knocking. Insecure became a cultural phenomenon. Issa became the first Black woman to create and star in a premium cable series, but none of that would have happened if she'd stayed in the audience waiting for someone else to tell her story. She faced rejection after rejection. Industry gatekeepers looked at her work and said it wasn't commercially viable. They told her that Black women's stories didn't sell. They told her that her voice didn't matter. But she kept creating anyway. She leveraged social media, built a dedicated online audience, and proved that when you create from authenticity, when you fill a gap that only you can see, people will find you. They will connect with you. They will support you. And eventually, the industry that rejected you will come back and ask how they can be part of what you built. That's the first thing Yolanda wants you to remember. You have the power to bring your own vision to life. Not someday, not when you have more time, more money, more confidence. Now, with what you have where you are. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's great for Issa Rae, but I'm not Issa Rae. I don't have a platform. I don't have the skills. I don't have the resources. And to that, I say, neither did Morgan DeBon. Morgan is the founder and CEO of Blavity Inc., a media company that amplifies Black voices and stories. But when she started, she faced funding barriers, doubts about the viability of Black owned media, and the very real challenge of scaling a digital startup from scratch. People told her it wouldn't work. They told her Black media wasn't profitable. They told her no. But Morgan didn't let that stop her. She didn't wait for venture capitalists to believe in her vision. She didn't wait for the industry to validate her dream. She bootstrapped the company. She built a strong team of people who shared her vision and believed in the mission. She cultivated a community driven approach to content and events, making sure that every piece of work Blavity produced reflected the voices and stories that were being ignored everywhere else. And today, Blavity is a leading digital media company for Black millennials. They've raised millions in venture capital. Their flagship event, Afrotech, has become one of the most influential gatherings in the industry, bringing together thousands of Black innovators, entrepreneurs, and creators who are shaping the future. Morgan didn't wait for permission. She didn't wait for perfect conditions. She saw a gap in media representation, a void where Black creativity and entrepreneurship were being overlooked, and she filled it. She acted on her imagination, even when it was scary, even when it was uncertain, even when people doubted her. And in doing so, she didn't just build a company, she shifted the entire media landscape. She created a platform that has empowered countless Black entrepreneurs and storytellers to step into their own power, to tell their own stories, to build their own tables. And that brings me to the second thing Yolanda wants you to remember: taking action on your dreams, even when faced with fear or uncertainty, is an act of self empowerment and community inspiration. Let me say that again. Taking action on your dreams is an act of self empowerment and community inspiration. Because when you step forward, when you create, when you dare to bring your vision to life, you're not just changing your own story, you're giving someone else permission to change theirs. Think about Nikayla Matthews Ocombe. She's the creator of Side Hustle Pro, a podcast that spotlights Black women entrepreneurs who turned their side hustles into thriving businesses. When she started, she had limited resources, no mainstream visibility, and no guarantee that anyone would listen. She was working a full time job, juggling responsibilities, and trying to carve out time to create something that mattered to her. But she leveraged her expertise in digital marketing, consistently produced high quality content, and fostered a supportive online community. And today, Side Hustle Pro has been downloaded millions of times. It's been featured by Apple Podcasts, and it has directly influenced listeners to launch and grow their own businesses. Nikayla didn't just create a podcast, she created a movement. She normalized Black women's entrepreneurship. She gave visibility to stories that were being ignored. She built a community of women who were tired of waiting for permission, tired of being told their dreams were too small or too risky, and ready to act. And it all started because she refused to just watch. She refused to sit on the sidelines. She participated, she created. She saw an absence of Black women's entrepreneurial stories in mainstream media. And instead of complaining about it, instead of waiting for someone else to fix it, she became the solution. Now, here's where it gets real, because I know some of you are sitting there thinking, okay, I hear you, but I'm tired. I've been holding everyone else up for so long. I've been the strong one, the dependable one, the one who makes sure everyone else's dreams come true. And now you're telling me I need to add one more thing to my plate? I need to create something? I need to act on my dreams? When am I supposed to do that? And I get it, I really do. Because this podcast, Soft Girl Era, is for you. It's for the high achieving Black woman who spent years in survival mode, who's led teams, raised families, held down households, carried communities, Who's exhausted? Who's ready to shift from constantly grinding to finally grounding in joy, peace, softness, and self prioritization? And I'm not here to tell you to hustle harder. I'm not here to tell you to add more to your plate. I'm here to tell you that creating, that acting on your imagination, that bringing your vision to life, that's not another burden. That's your liberation. That's your soft girl era. Because when you create something that's truly yours, when you act on a dream that's been sitting in your heart, you're not just doing more, you're reclaiming yourself. You're stepping into the version of you that's been waiting to bloom. You're releasing the cape. You're redefining what strength means. You're embracing softness, not as weakness, but as the most powerful act of self love you can offer yourself. And here's the third thing Yolanda wants you to remember: your unique perspective and imagination are valuable. The world needs what only you can create, not what someone else can create, not what the industry says is marketable, what you can create. Because your story, your voice, your vision, they matter. They're needed. They're irreplaceable. Issa Rae didn't create Insecure because the world needed another TV show. She created it because the world needed her TV show. Morgan DeBond didn't create Blavity because the world needed another media company. She created it because the world needed her media company. Nikayla Matthews Ocone didn't create Side Hustle Pro because the world needed another podcast. She created it because the world needed her podcast. And the world needs what only you can create. Your imagination, your perspective, your lived experience, they're not just valuable, they're essential. There are people waiting for what only you can offer. There are stories only you can tell. There are visions only you can bring to life. And every day you wait, every day you sit on the sidelines, every day you convince yourself that someone else is more qualified, more prepared, more deserving, is a day the world goes without what it needs from you. So here's what I want you to do: I want you to commit to one actionable step toward bringing your own ideas to life. Just one. Maybe it's starting that project you've been thinking about for years. Maybe it's sharing your vision publicly, even if it scares you. Maybe it's reaching out for support, asking for help, building your team. Maybe it's setting a boundary so you can create the space you need. Maybe it's saying no to something that's draining you so you can say yes to something that lights you up. Whatever it is, don't just watch, participate, create. Because here's the truth: you have the power to bring your own vision to life. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need more time, more money, more confidence. You just need to start. You need to act. You need to step off the sidelines of your own story and into the arena. And I know it's scary. I know it's uncertain. I know there will be people who doubt you, who tell you no, who question whether your vision is marketable, whether your story matters, whether you have what it takes. But taking action on your dreams, even when faced with fear or uncertainty, is an act of self empowerment and community inspiration. When you create, you're not just changing your life, you're inspiring someone else to change theirs. You're giving permission to the woman who's watching you, who's doubting herself, who's waiting for a sign. You become that sign, and your unique perspective and imagination are valuable. The world needs what only you can create. So stop watching. Start creating. Your imagination deserves more than an audience. It deserves to be realized. It deserves to be brought to life. And you deserve to be the one who does it. This is your moment. This is your permission slip. This is your call to action. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when conditions are perfect. Now, today, with what you have, where you are, because the world is waiting for what only you can create. And the longer you wait, the longer we all have to wait. So go, create, act, build, dream. Bring your vision to life. The world needs it. And more importantly, you need it. Your soul is calling for it. Your imagination is begging for it. And your soft girl era, it's waiting for you to finally, unapologetically, powerfully step into it.